Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Jason Sneddon, and I want to personally thank you for checking out Today Matters. As Easter weekend passed several weeks ago, many people tend to forget this amazing time, and what they do is they go about their daily routine. So today what I'd like to do is talk about the things that the disciples did after Easter, because it's really important that we don't recall Easter just once a year, but instead that it would be something that is shown in our lives all year long. The first thing is that it's important to know that the disciples and others actually had some doubts. The fact is that many of Jesus' followers had some doubts of the resurrection. What we find in the beginning of Luke 24 is that Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary the mother of James visited the tomb where Jesus was supposed to be. But lo and behold, they found the stone rolled away. No Jesus in sight, but there were two angels that appeared and asked them, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead?" So when the women went back, they told the disciples about all that had happened, and most of them thought it was nothing but nonsense, even though they were told directly that Jesus would be raised again. There are several other accounts of bout with doubt in this time. The Gospel of John talks about Thomas the doubter who refused to believe until he felt the nail holes in Jesus' hands. It's sometimes easier to doubt something that isn't easy to believe, and perhaps this is the reason that we move on so easily after Easter. But having true faith actually means we believe in something that we cannot see, or maybe we even don't understand. And just like many of us, there was much doubt after the resurrection in biblical times. But more importantly, just as they did, we have hope. And through our hope, we should do as it says in 1 Peter 3:15. But in your hearts, revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. And through this, we can patiently respond to those who have questions as well. So what else did Jesus' followers do after Easter? They also broke bread in Jesus' memory. The Last Supper rite is something his followers did as early as mere days after his crucifixion. In the book of Luke, we can see that there were two men who had encountered Jesus after he was resurrected near Jerusalem. The disciples didn't recognize him, but they did invite Jesus to eat with them. When they were at the table, Jesus took the bread, he blessed it, and he broke it. And at that very moment, their eyes were open, and they realized that it was Jesus. And in Luke 24:35, the Bible tells us that they reported it to the entire community, that Jesus himself was made known through the breaking of bread. Acts 2:46 says, "Every day they continued to meet together and break bread in their homes, and ate together with glad and sincere hearts." Jesus' followers didn't stop at breaking bread either. They did something that we should be doing as a part of our daily routine, and that is they searched the scriptures. This was something actually common to do in an effort to find answers to unexplained events. This is brought to life in Acts 17. Speaking of Berean Jews and their noble character, verse 11 says, "They received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true." The Bible is full of examples to us, and this is no different. Imagine the change in trajectory that our day would have if we just read the Bible daily. But wait, there's more. They took care of those that were sick or diseased. One of Jesus' greatest missions while he was here in flesh was healing the sick. It's mentioned really early in the book of Mark chapter 1 verse 34. It simply says, Jesus healed many who had various diseases. Now we can't actually heal with our own hands. This leaves us with a directive. And ever since this time, Christians have been heavily involved with medical missions work. Think about the account of the development of the Red Cross, building hospitals and all the foundations that are geared towards helping the sick. To me, this brings thought of all the people in local hospitals, nursing homes, and hospices. Many of these patients and residents don't get visitors very often, or even at all. We should be doing our part in filling that gap, because we should remember that medical missions and taking care of the sick have been an essential part of Christianity from the very beginning. So we know some of the things that Jesus' followers did after Easter. They doubted, they broke bread together, they read the Bible, they took care of others in need. And one more thing that I want to leave you with has so much value. They fellowshipped with others. In fact, they actually invited others into their very own fellowship. The New Testament is extremely clear on this topic. Matthew 28:19 says it like this in Jesus' own words. "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." This was Jesus' intention from the very beginning. He challenged Simon, who was a fisherman, to follow him and become a fisher of people. And just within weeks of Easter, Those who followed Jesus were relentlessly inviting everyone who would listen into their fellowship. Religious groups in this time were actually really exclusive, but Jesus is not exclusive to anyone. Jesus invites us all to be in fellowship with him. He changed all of that with what he did for us on Easter. The reason Christianity grew to where it is now is in part due to the welcoming attitude of his followers. That's what we strive for at Skyline Church. We emphasize welcoming attitude from the example that Jesus left for us. Think about the 12 disciples in Jesus' time here on earth. Today there are an estimated 2 billion believers. And it doesn't surprise me that the growth of Christianity is in part due to this. These things were given to us as an example of how we should be as followers. What greater way to recall Easter and the greatest gift we could ever be given? Join me by clearing doubt with faith, reading the Bible, breaking bread with others, helping the sick, and inviting others into fellowship with us today, because today matters. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon.